All right, so I'm going to explain a few things about the mics because they're always having issues, and I just want to educate everyone a little bit on how they work and how you can do a little self-diagnosing. So to start from the beginning, the mics, when you're talking to them, the sound doesn't go directly from your voice to the mic on air, right? It goes from your mic or from your voice to the mic to these racks, and then it gets put through the computer on air. So when you talk, you can see that when I'm talking into mic 1, there's stuff going on the board, right? Or on the racks. These racks, they correspond to each mic. There's 4 of them. So mic 1, 2, 3, 4. You got mic 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and they're set to some pretty particular settings, and there's a lot of knobs and buttons. There's no reason to ever really mess with them because they're real particular and pretty sensitive. But there are a few things you can look for when you're trying to diagnose your mic problems. So what I want to show off in particular are these LED indicators right here on the right side. When you talk into your mic, those are monitors basically of how much sound is getting picked up by the mic. You can sometimes see that on the board when you're talking if you're on air, but on these racks they're always picking it up because the mics are always technically active. When I talk into mic 1, you can see the LED indicator in front of the mic 1 rack is lighting up. It's red right now because I'm talking loud. Same with mic 2. If I talk into mic 2, you see mic 2 is lighting up. So when you have mic problems, you can do a couple things. The first thing you should do is check and see when you're talking into it, if you can't hear yourself through the headphones, through your monitor, check and see if you have LED indicators. Because right now when I'm talking, the noise is getting bounced around the studio, and you can see it's getting picked up through all the mics, except, of course, mic 3. So if you're getting LED indicators, but you're still not hearing your voice on air, the problem is probably with either your levels, the volume, or a particular setting on the board. So the first thing you can do is, just make sure you're turned up and maybe as loud as you need to be. The second thing, if you're turned all the way up and you still can't hear yourself, make sure that this button down here is set to program 1. It shouldn't really be on program 2. This is just to make sure that when it's set to program 1, all of the sound that's being broadcast that you want the people to hear is going back to you, that you can monitor it through your headphones, or if it's just music, through the studio monitors. Another thing that I think might happen sometimes is, your mic is turned on, red light, but then also this cue light is on. This cue light, there's just no reason to turn it on. So just make sure that you're set to program 1 on your source monitor. You got your right program lights up top, and your red light's on, your volume's up. If you're getting LED indicators, you should, at that point, be able to hear your voice through your headphones. If you're talking into your mic and you're not getting any LED indicators down here, like I believe mic 3 is right now. Oops. See, I'm talking into mic 3 right now, and it's hardly picking up anything. Like, I'm talking into it, and you can hardly see any lights. That means that there's a deeper issue with the mics themselves, and that's typically a problem that you should maybe contact your engineer or someone on the exec squad, GM, and they can help you through that because it's typically a trickier issue. Something that I think looks tempting, but it is not the solution, is to switch out these XLR cables. This mic 1 has this XLR attached to it. There are a couple other ones floating around here. These are in the right spots, and unless they've been changed, which should not have been, they should be all good. So the problem is now with the XLR. It's something deeper. It's within the rack itself. It's with something behind the counter. So if you're talking and you're not getting any LED indicators, that means the mic isn't hearing you at all. It's like an inactive, it's a dead mic. And that's a deeper issue that someone can help you out with. So just make the call if you need to. All right, so we have our record players. I think many people don't know how they work, or even if they do work, I assure you they work. They're a ton of fun to use, so I'm going to show you how to get them going and how to play some sweet records on your show. We'll start by selecting your record. This is the Supremes A Go-Go, a personal favorite. You remove your record and you withdraw it from its casing. Be careful when you pick it up to not touch the actual vinyl itself. Maybe just touch the edges or the label. And then you go to your record player, you open up the shell, and you carefully set it upon it. Then you take your needle and you hold the little handle and you place it like a millimeter or two into it. You can see all these like ridges, you know, these little lines that where the tracks start and stop. You don't want to put in the middle because then it'll start in the middle of the record. So you put on the edge. To turn on the record player, there's this little knob, and you'd expect it to turn like this whole knob, but that's not how it works. It's just this little black bit on top. You spin it like that, you'll see a red light. To start it, click start. And there you go, it's going. If you want to hear it on air, you go to your board. You have your two vinyl lines, vinyl 1, vinyl 2, and those correspond with vinyl 1 on the left, vinyl 2 on the right. So our record is on vinyl 2 right now. So I go to my vinyl 2 line, I make sure my programs are both on, I make sure my red light is on, my cue light is off, and I fade in vinyl 2. And now you can hear it. I'm going to fade it out, go back to the Megaseg music, turn off my red light. Now the record's still going on the turntable, but it's just not being broadcast. To stop the record, to turn it off, you want to first click stop, wait for it to slow down, stop, and then you remove your needle with the handle carefully, put it back, you turn this off, remove your record, put it back in its place, you know, and if you got it from the shelf, be sure to put it back where you found it. This one is just floating around the studio, so it's a good one to use if you want to put on a random record. There you have it. Enjoy. All right. Sometimes your computer will be frozen, or you'll have just computer issues that you can't solve by restarting. To do a normal, like on the computer software restart, you go up to the little apple, click it, find restart, shut her down, or not shut her down, restart. And the computer will take care of itself. All the processes will do their thing. Upon startup, everything should be set back to normal and it should all be good. The only thing that you have to worry about is make sure on this screen that your broadcast light is turned on. That needs to always be on. Just make sure it's, if you ever come in here and it's off, click it on because it's a big help. That means we're not broadcasting and we need to do that. If you're clicking around on the computer and nothing's happening, that just means the computer's frozen, and that's a damn shame, my KCOUers. What you need to do about this is what's called a hard restart. And so you're clicking around, computer's frozen, can't get anything to work. Step number 1 is to put on a vinyl. Thankfully, I already have a vinyl on. It's spinning, you can see, and I haven't red lighted it yet. But what you want to do to get this going, you red light your vinyl, you fade it in. So now, what's being broadcast is the vinyl. We're in the middle of songs right now, but otherwise you'd hear it. while your vinyl is being broadcast on air, you go down to this little cubby, and there's all this equipment down here that you don't really need to worry about, but the only thing you do need to see is this Apple trash can looking computer in the corner. It's dark down here, it's hard to see, but it's here, it's in the left corner. What you need to find is behind some of these wires is this little illuminated power button. You click on that, you hold it down, and the computer will restart. While it's restarting, obviously there's nothing being broadcast, so that's why you have your record playing and broadcasting. The computer will restart, it'll do all its things, and everything should start up exactly how it should be. Megaseg should start working immediately. The only thing, again, you need to worry about is just make sure that your broadcast light is on. After that's done and your computer's back up and working and Megaseg is back up, you can fade out your vinyl, red light off, and you're done. You should be good then. So just if you need to do a hard restart, just a quick little recap: put your vinyl on, fade your vinyl in, make sure it's broadcasting, red light, go down to the cubby, back left corner, the trash can Apple computer, find the power button behind the wires, click and hold it until the computer restarts, and then everything will fix itself.